high-tech oils. Available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts and all leading independent auto stores.
There's three key elements in Super 6 touring car racing: big fields, quality racing and plenty of paint swapping. One driver who's seen it all is dull before you dig's Mark Prema. His 2015 campaign so far has been tough both on and off the track.
Well, we had a bit of a slow start. We had quite a bit of damage last year, and we sort of spent a lot of time damage repair. This time with Michael, he didn't put a scratch on the car, and we were quite surprised. We spent between round 1 and round 2 under the bonnet, and we found a few things that were wrong for like 3 or 4 years, computer settings and things like that. And we've done a lot of homework, found a lot more horsepower. Even the dyno man was impressed. I think we're 8th and 10th, so we're pretty happy with that.
At the beginning of 2015, the Dial Before You Dig team gained the services of South Australian Michael Barch, who returns to the series after stints in the V8 Utes and V8 touring cars.
Yeah, well, he's had a couple of years off. I think he's been doing the family thing. He's found a bit of a struggle with the horsepower drop. As the Super 6, we have to keep mid-corner speed is very important. We can't just, blast out of the corners. And he's getting better each race, but I think it was a bit more of a shock than he actually thought it was going to be.
Sydney Motorsport Park is the home track for Prema and the Dial Before You Dig team, and their aim is not only to reach the front of the field, but to beat the dominating Commodore pack.
I'd say 5th would be good for me. If I start from the 3rd row tomorrow, I'll be happy. So watch this space.
The Dial Before You Dig Australian Super 6 Touring Car Series rolling out at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's been a fascinating championship so far for the 6-cylinder Holdens and Fords, and this weekend, no exception, Matt Nolte. This is a great category, great racing, wheel-to-wheel, classic touring car action.
And championship-wise, just 40 points now between Gavin Ross, the defending champ, and Harley Phelan. A further 40-odd points back to Ash Jarvis and Chris Lillis and the like, but Simon Taberner has been the form guy in the recent past.
Yeah, won the most recent round at Winton. We're getting set for race 2. It's a follow-on from the grid of race 1, which was held yesterday, and it resulted in a victory for Ben Grice. Finally, the monkey off. Grice is back. He's had a horror run so far this year, but he dominated. Started from pole, led the entire race, broke the lap record, and led Simon Taberner home. The defending champ Gavin Ross goes from 3rd. Ashley Jarvis from P4.
And you know what they say, once you get the first one off your back, they just continue to flow. And I have this feeling about Ben Grice, of course, that famous surname of the Grice family. This is going to continue on here today. We're on board with Ashley Jarvis, the Lighthouse Electrical entry, starting from the 2nd row. So we're underway here. Look at the defending champ. Ross got a great start.
Ripper start from the green Commodore, goes down the inside. Grice in the middle, didn't get away too well. Taberner okay, and goes around the outside of turn 1 in first place, but I think Ross is going to have the racing line. The Melbourneian goes through and grabs the lead, so this is a good challenge now for Ben Grice. He's been the dominant driver all weekend long.
Cold tyres on a sunny day. It's going to take a lap or two. But look at Grice. May not have the best start, but now starts to turn up the heat here, but he's in a wrong position of turn 3.
You see the white gloves inside the number 6 car working the wheel. It was sliding around a lot on cold tyres. So the field sorts themselves out as they run down into turn 4. There's Ian Chivas. He'll look to work his way forward. He's got a brand new Falcon, the BA model Falcon 4 Super 6 touring cars coming soon to this category.
There's Sam Lee, second of the Dial Before You Dig entries, working his way through the field, but change of position for second now, as we've got more passing going on mid-pack. Maybe only 12 cars in the field this weekend, but certainly not short on action. Look at Grice! Awesome!
Well, he's got a speedway background. He doesn't mind driving things sideways. In fact, when he first burst into the national scene, he drove a Suzuki Swift sideways down the inside of the hairpin, grabs the race lead away from Gavin Ross. Yes, a Suzuki Swift.
That's not easy to do.
No, it was unbelievable. So the Commodore suits him even more. He goes to the front, and Gricey hits the lead. Gavin Ross next, the defending champion, looking to follow in the footsteps of Simon Taberner and go back to back. There is Taberner. Sits in 3rd place in the Selby entry.
So slipstreaming, even though there's 6-cylinder engines, will be at a premium down this main straight at Sydney Motorsport Park. We've got a car slowing in the background here, Rich.
I think that's Harley Phelan coming out of the final corner, the clean duct car.
Oh, no.
That's a shame. Was having a good weekend so far. It's not going quite so well now, is it? Slows down. So Tabernaur looking to put one on Gavin Ross in the fight for second. Grice just eking away a car length or two out in front.
So Grice about 2 car lengths. As I say that, he understeers it. It's more of a double apex turn anyways. We jump aboard Chris Lillis in the Cachet Home 64. Brilliant start, was it? Going past Shivers. Went up a couple of positions here at the initial start. Oh, even missed a gear.
Missed a gear, so Shivers was able to get it. Look in the background, big slide. But this is the pass for the move. Pass for the lead, I should say, with Grice going down the inside of Gavin Ross. And, well, Ross could only do so much to defend there. And this is Harley Phelan.
The lever. Watch this.
Oh, yeah, he's got nothing. Now, we've seen it's actually snapped the lever off. So it's not a gearbox problem per se. It's actually broken the lever. Hard on the gear.
Hard on the brakes for Ross. Sliding his way through, and now Tabernaur in the selby.com.au entry moves up a position and slams the door firm in his face.
Yeah, so Tabernaur was in the right position just to capitalise on Ross's mistake. Went in a little bit too hot up there at turn 2. Slid the car wide on exit. And Tabernaur takes advantage. Grice is gone, hasn't he? Look at him disappearing up the road. And not for a want of trying by either of these two. Let's see if the 2-time champ can make any inroads. He's pushing hard.
And the drivers made the most of the track extensions over that part of the circuit.
Well, they were warned about that at the start of the weekend too, Matt. They needed to be careful on this part of the road. So only so many times they're going to get away with running all 4 wheels over that yellow line at turn 5. You need to be careful there. You can use a lot of the road, but you can't really take the mickey too much there.
You're exceeding track limits.
Exactly.
It's one of those tough ones, isn't it? Since the recent developments here at Sydney Motorsport Park have changed the outlay of this course around the backside of the circuit. This part we're going through right now is pretty much the same as what it was back in 1990. Can you believe it's 25 years since this track was opened back at the Nissan 500 back there in November of 1990.
How good's Postlethwaite going? He's in that sort of grey and black, the red striped VT Commodore there. Just got passed by Kearns into the turn 9 hairpin. But this guy, brand new to the category, still got the P plate on the back of his Commodore. He's been on fire. He was the guy that had the very big slide around Corporate Hill and that very fast right-hand corner that brings you down to the hairpin. So here's a replay of what happened to Gavin Ross. Just locked the rears.
Could have been a huge moment for him, but a man with a fair bit of talent, carrying the number 1 on the doors of the carpet shed entry, lives to fight on. This is Postlethwaite being passed by Kearns.
Yeah, speaking of using all the road.
Look at this.
Had to go right out, and Kearns had all 4 wheels over the yellow line as well, but he quickly fought back and got up the inside in the final corner, and this battle continues. You can see some evidence of some love taps there in the front corner of the 95. This is a good fight.
Final lap.
They're evenly matched, holding them forward.
Totally. Backside the circuit now. Postlethwaite on the back of Kearns. This is the part that's been modified over the past couple of years. Another new passing point around Sydney Motorsport Park. Kearns having to drive really hard. He's got another car trying to buy into the battle too.
Well, how's Harley Phelan driving that, given he's not able to change gear? Or somehow he's making it work for him. But we saw him break that gear shifter before. Awesome job by the Clean Duck Racing entry to get himself back in the game. How about this guy? Out in front. He's broken the lap record again. Cruises his way to 2 wins from 2 races at Sydney Motorsport Park. Gricey is on top in Super Sixes this weekend.
The winds are flowing, that's for sure. 5 seconds, the margin back to second of Simon Tabernaur. Gavin Ross held down third in the end from Ash Jarvis, back to Lindsay Kearns and Glenn Postlethwaite. Brent Edwards got into 7th, and Sam Lee completing the top 8 back to Lillis. Shivers, Harley Phelan and Mark Primer, who retired early on.
Well, this is the first, fair go we've had in this category. Like, we've just been dead set out of luck. The fair income department, we've just been nowhere, all just bad luck. And finally to get it together and get a fair go here, and we're winning races and on pole. So it's great for Hind and GPPD, the people that are stuck by me through all this bad luck, and we'll just keep digging.
Do you think he might be happy with how he's going this weekend? Ben Grice on top of the world and on top of Sydney Motorsport Park. He starts race 3 from pole position alongside Simon Tabernaur. But watch the starts. Gavin Ross has been brilliant off the line. Let's see what something special the Victorian's got. in that bright green VT Commodore. Brent Edwards, Mr. Consistency this weekend. A couple of 7th places were underway. Grice a better start this time. Tabanor goes with him and might just nose in front into turn 1. He does. And grabs the lead, the double champ. But everyone away cleanly. But once again, Gricey makes his life just a little bit difficult. It's almost like he's trying to have some
planning.
fun.
Yeah. Now he moves to the outside already in turn 1 as the cars battle for positions here at turn 2. And just like that, Grice moves the Hindi Transport into the lead in that famous number 6 that his dad drove for so many years.
It's a bit like the old STP Roadways days, isn't it? Back
Absolutely.
in Group C touring car racing. But he's out in front. Alan Grice here and watching from the sidelines as his Benny's family. Postlethwaite down the inside. He's been really good this weekend. Enjoyed watching him. Look at the attitude of these cars through the change of direction at 5. It's a great bit of road and really challenging, works the drivers and the cars hard because it's very, very fast through there, even in a 6-cylinder Holden or Falcon.
Postlethwaite been passed almost by Ash Jarvis. That was Edwards who ate a lot of the curb on the inside. So come around the back of Corporate Hill for the first time.
Brent Edwards has been really good this year. The DPS car, Truck Phones racing entry, he's just been Mr. Consistency all the way through the championship and inside the top 5 in the standings. So very, very impressive. Very well presented Ford Falcon, that car. The whole pit area, all the uniforms, everything. They do a really nice job and Brent going very well.
I think the category is well presented at the moment. Might be light on numbers at the moment, but that happens in all motor racing categories from time to time. They all bounce back as time goes on, but Super 6s well supported in 2015.
It's the 2 die before you did cars. Lee in the 42 this weekend. Michael Barch drove that car at Winton. Had a pretty reasonable weekend. Mark Primer, who's long been a stalwart of this category, is just up the road there. You can see the 2 Falcons running line to stern. There's Kearns. Jarvis behind him. Expecting things from him in this race to work his way forward.
Locking the brakes further up, that's pretty standard for one of these races. In fact, that's a lot of tyre smoke off in the distance.
Is that Gavin Ross again? It was. So he's struggled with brakes locking going there. I wonder if it's a bias issue, maybe a little bit towards the rear. We saw him lock the rear brakes in race 2 and run up wide on the exit. Here's a look at the start from Harley Phelan's perspective.
New gear lever on the Clean Duct Australia entry.
Good start.
A couple of good passing moves here already to turn 1. He got 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah, remember he was a bit further down. Look at him go. So he was a bit further down than his usual track position where he likes to run in this category.
Back to live action now. So some battles right through the pack. The front 2 guys have gone. In fact, if you want to say 1, because Grice has cleared away from the field. So here come Postlethwaite doing another great job back there his rookie year.
Yeah, there could be something brewing between Tabanor and Ross though. We haven't. Oh, that's a big move. Big slide. Turn 1. Quick corner in any car you're driving. And gets up the inside of Jarvis and the Lighthouse Electrical Falcon and gets the position done. We said in race 2 we were excited about the potential this guy's got. And he's been exciting all weekend long.
He doesn't care where he puts the car. He's putting this car in positions where not many others would fear to do it. And the pass pays off. The 95 VT Commodore moves ahead of Ash Jarvis now, the Lighthouse Electrical. This is the passing move that happened at turn 2.
Yeah, and it sort of started even further back than that, didn't I? I get the feeling they were dueling all the way down the straight. That's a nice move. He qualified 5th, Postlethwaite, so the car's had good speed since the outset, and he's just been chipping away this year in the dial before you dig Super 6 touring cars.
So last lap.
Yeah, what a drive. Ben Grice out in front and dominating weekend, looking to sweep the weekend. We saw Simon Tabanor dominate at Winton recently in the Dial Before You Dig Challenge, the 2-race format, slightly longer distance races there. But this could be the first clean sweep of a 3-race weekend in the Super 6 touring car season. And he's a long way out of the championship standings, Ben Grice, after all the dramas he's had in the opening 2 rounds with bad luck. He's had all sorts of gearbox dramas, had a tyre go down at Winton and fired him off the road. None of it his own doing. It's all been outside influences, but it's all come together here. He'll rocket into the top 10 in the standings. He was about 14th coming into the round. I tell you what, 1 or 2 more rounds like this and he may well be a player for the Super 6 title, or at least a podium finish.
Last lap now.
Oh.
Oh no, Postlethwaite gets the wheel in the dirt, and that could have been fatal for the 95 machine.
Gee, that was a big moment. Last lap at the motor race too. You need to be careful. How about this guy? What a dominating performance. Destroyed the qualifying lap record, broke it in race 1, broke it in race 2. He won both of those. Sydney Motorsport Park, it's Grice Town this weekend. 3 out of 3 for Gricey.
Goes to the top of the leaderboard for race wins this season in the Super 6 Series. And there is confirmation of results. It was nearly 8 seconds back to Gavin Ross in the end. Kearns was third, back to Jarvis and Postlethwaite. Thielen in 6th, Edwards and Primer completing the top 8.
It's quite a tough thing to control the race and to lead, mentally, to control yourself. But ecstatic. I've been working really hard for this, and just really lucky to have the support of Hind Transport and GPPD. It's their local round, so I'm stoked to turn it on for them. So thank you.
He's going to be hard to beat on home turf. And look, 7th in the standings already, Ben Grice making his charge. But Gavin Ross, taking advantage of dramas for Tabernaur, extends his points lead in his quest for back-to-back titles. Feeling second and going well, and looking right in the mix.
There's more action to come in coming weeks from Queensland Raceway when the Shannons Nationals continue. Check out thenationals.com.au for all the information. For Richard Crail, I'm Matt Nolte. We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere, because right after the break we head back to the thrilling conclusion to the 2014 Australian V8 Superboat Championships from Temora in country New South Wales.